And if we have any old business, we can cover that too. But first, let's do old business. Anything that there's no really any updates on the marijuana licenses like we spoke in December, in the beginning of December. We're just waiting for regulations. Just a quick reminder to email to go over the MRTA, the marijuana regulations are out now, and we can email. It's in our minutes from last week or last month. Any suggestions that we may have for those regulations. Just wanted to reiterate that for the regulations. Any old business, anything that you guys want to talk about from our previous meetings? No? Okay, good. So new business, and this is kind of informal, guys, just because I know it's the beginning of the year. I know you guys probably first day back. I know it was my first day back in the office. So I want to hear from you guys. I know it's only three of us. Well, four of us. And I want to hear from you guys. What do you want to see be covered here as we enter 2023? What do you want to see here in the business development committee? I have my own ideas, but I do want to get your feedback. And Francisco has some ideas, but I want to get your input on your vision for this business development committee. I know we have the marijuana regulations, right? That's something that we concentrate on, but give me some ideas to see what we can help our constituents. Any ideas? Okay. All right. Talk to me, Hector. Talk.
I like to see some actual implementation, some stuff actually get done, and not just being spoken about. I really like the idea of having like business pods where we'll have like a location, whether that's at the community board where people, business owners can come and leverage us for whatever it may be instead of paying some out of pocket. Like a specialist. I know that some of these people, certain groups in the Heights, I'm not gonna name them, but they try to exploit business owners for lack of knowledge. I would really like to fill that gap.
Okay. Yeah, I that's actually one of the things that I really want to tackle, bridging the gap. And I think it's going to take a street team, someone, and maybe this, this group in its entirety can go out and speak to business owners. I'm also, I want to bridge the gap by kind of creating a line of communication between us and business owners, not just, brick and mortar stores, but young entrepreneurs. And a lot of that is going to be through some incubators and resource centers that we have throughout Washington Heights. And I'm kind of putting together a list. So we can kind of be involved in that process. But totally, definitely going to keep that in mind as we enter the 2023 year. Next, yeah, go ahead.
Just one more thing, Joel. I know there's already organizations like the Sherman's Creek Association that we could definitely tap into, and different organizations that are already established that we could leverage to have that direct line of communications with business owners so that they're aware of our presence.
Yeah. What was that one you mentioned?
The Sherman's Creek Merchant Association. It's ran by Juan with the Degnan beer.
Yeah, we have also cloth. Right, we have the Washington Heights Chamber of Commerce. So we have a few resources that we want to tap into, and I'm working with the new chair to kind of come up with a plan. We have a nice vision, and so we just want to kind of get your input too.
Yeah, I'll love to help with that if you need any assistance. You're having that.
Yeah, for sure. We're working on it now, so there's no update. We also have the bid, right? The Washington Heights bid. That's also something that we can tap into. just so that we can be of a resource. Uh, I know we don't have anything formally right now, and we'll compile a list maybe next time. I'll have that prepared for you guys. All these kind of like resource centers, resource hubs that a lot of businesses kind of look um, to kind of expand or scale or even start, right? So we can be in the mix and be a resource for them. Anything else? Anything else?
Oh, hi, everybody.
Mhm.
Kind of to piggyback on what Hector was saying about collaborating with already established non-for-profits, I agree with that because that will amplify our voices more. And also, personally, I started the process and I dropped the ball trying to register as I think it's called like WMBE, like Women Minority Business Association. There are a lot of folks in our community who I feel like could benefit from that. And if we could do some sort of seminar to help them, or I'm sure one of these non-for-profits, like I worked with WITIC and I just got busy. But
Okay.
other associations as well to sort of, because I feel like there are a lot of people who have businesses and don't realize the opportunity if you actually register as a minority women's business enterprise. I'm not sure what the acronym is for. It would
Yeah.
be very helpful and open them up to like a lot of opportunities. And I think that's something we could definitely try to spearhead.
I totally agree, Matita. I know that designation opens you up to grants and things like that, access to capital. So yeah.
And bids too, like bids with the city, I think.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not aware of the percentage, but a certain number of government projects have to go to those type of entities.
I believe it's 20%.
Oh, 20.
Yeah. And there's certain organizations that they select once you qualify for a WMSB or WMBS. You get selected from the pool, so a certain number of contracts have to go to you, or to this pool of applicants. So it's free money for the taking.
Okay, there you go. I will. I like I said, I'm gonna write this up more formally so we can kind of go over it. And then we'll kind of after we get this list going, we'll reach out to them and get the ball rolling on our presence, right? Because I think that's our number one thing. A lot of people don't know that we exist. So by working with these non-for-profits that have resources, we can get our names out there. And I think that's our should be our number one priority. Yes, Jamirna.
Oh, one thing, congratulations,
Yeah, sorry.
by the way. I just
Say it
want
again.
to congratulations to Jamirna.
Yes, you beat me to it, Masita. Yes. Congrats. Clap it up. Good job, man. Congrats. Talk to me, Jamirna. How are you?
Thank you, everybody. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Welcome back to everybody. Thank you, everybody, for the kind words and the support. Well, I'll say, like, for the new year, for one thing I would like to see for our committee is definitely more engagement with community business owners and entrepreneurs that in other type of businesses, like maybe like finding collaboration with students, like our undergraduates of the neighborhood and small businesses, because I know one of the common studies that I see amongst Washington Heights students and Inwood students is business administration. And that's big. And I say this because I'm in higher ed. And I would like to build the bridge among students and business owners and see how that could help them develop some way, somehow, for both parties. That's something that I'd like to see more collaboration and involving youth in these conversations. And I think sometimes youth is so broad, and it can vary. So I would like to see that, like, more collaboration with different businesses, and like pretty much how everyone was mentioned, like nonprofits, and the wheel is already there. We just like have to go out there and use it. That's pretty much one thing. But also when it comes like a little bit more technical to home, I would like to see like my fellow board members being more consistent, more time. I fully understand that it can be a lot. We all have lives, things happen. But I think that's something like generally I like to see. And teamwork amongst each other, and patience and understanding, because we've all seen it in general board meetings. It can become a little chaotic. So that's
Yeah.
one thing I would like to see, like, you know enhancing our communication amongst each other, because I think that's one thing that I would like to address moving forward, like
Mhm.
timely manner of communications to one another, and just uplifting like real community values of respecting differences and just respect as a whole. I think that's pretty important. But those are just like in-house things rather than more like uh business development wide. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm happy, everyone that's here, for doing this, on dedicating your time to this, investing your time, um because we could be doing anything on Tuesday evening, but we're here. Look, we're commuting from home. We're from home. Well, people are doing all these things. So I just want to say thank you, and I really look forward to all the great things we can do together in this space, and I'm very excited to see what we'll do 2023. The options are unlimited.
Excellent. Yeah, yeah. Definitely. I'm blessed to be in. We're blessed to be in this committee where there's not a lot of friction, where our focus is pretty narrow, right? In a general sense, but we have a lot of things to kind of go over. And in the general board, definitely there is some miscommunication for sure, and lack of structure. But we're working on that, and hopefully, what we do here translates to our general board meeting. But thank you so much. We will work on the general for next meeting. If you guys could come up with a list, and I'm going to do so myself, of resource hubs in our neighborhoods, um, that could definitely benefit outsiders and could benefit us to communicate, to bridge that gap between business owners. And so that's the only thing I ask of you guys for next meeting. Kind of a list of resources that or that you may know other people know of. All right. Just get that list, and we'll bring it, and we'll compile a list, and then we'll go and bridge that gap. That's, I think, our first course of action should be. But yes, thank you so much for your ideas, guys. Chanel, I think.
Paola.
Say it again.
It's Paola.
Oh, sorry, Paola. I'm sorry. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
So can I upgrade? And I don't know if
You need someone from the panelists to speak?
yes, Eric.
Okay, go ahead. He can. Eric?
Okay. Eric, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot here. I just saw your you're here from NYC Business Solutions. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you could just share a few words about the your department, and your office, and what you guys do, and how we can help, or we can spread the word.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. Thanks so much for having me speak. It's a pleasure to be here. Good to see everyone. So a little bit about Workforce One. We are located on 516 West 181st Street, so pretty close to the Business Improvement District office. So where the new Radio Hotel is. That's basically where we are.
Okay.
So if you stop into Palau, maybe come see us too. But yeah, a little bit about our services. I'm the account manager Essentially, we partner with businesses local to the Washington Heights area, basically most businesses within the Community Board 12. And yeah, essentially we assist with recruiting for these companies. Yeah, that's the main thing that we do is we like bring people into our pipeline, get them job ready, work on their resumes, find out what positions are best suited for them. And then my job, of course, is to bring the employers in to place those candidates. So regardless of whether we're talking about working with businesses or just spreading the word on our services to people in the neighborhood, definitely reach out to me, let them know. I am usually out in the neighborhood speaking with business owners, and I plan on attending more Community Board 12 meetings, so you might see me around.
Yeah, we want you around, Eric. We need you. That's great. I didn't know we had that office. That's a great resources that our community has. Now, do you just help with employment on the business side, or do you have any other? You work with other solutions?
Yeah, so on the business side, it is mainly recruitment that we do. However, we do work very closely with the Department of Small Business Services. So if a business owner is looking for assistance with like a loan, a grant, or some sort of training program, we can connect that business owner to those services. So we're constantly in contact with SBS, we call them. So any sort of needs they need, they can let me know. I can reach out and see if we can get them any help. Jamina, I see your hands up.
Hey, Eric, thank you for being here. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw your name, I got a little bit nervous. I was like, wait, do we have a special guest in the building today or something? But still, you are special to us here. So 2 quick questions. I wanted to ask, what is your email? And second, does Workforce One participate in any sort of like career fairs or pretty much like any sort of tabling events where they're stationed to just share their resources out there, let's say like a community fair or like a job fair, anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Both great questions. I'll drop my email in the Q&A. And I'll also drop my phone number in case you guys need to get in contact with me. But yes, we do work very closely with local organizations. Our community partner manager is Hector Lorenzo. And so we have partnerships going on with Dominican Women's Development Center and other organizations in the area. So I can also drop his email if you're wanting to get in touch with him. He basically, the community partner program, essentially we work with local organizations to find their clients the right positions or offer them trainings. So he can speak a little more on that, but I'll drop his information as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much.
Yeah, drop your email. We would love to get in contact. I don't know if you were listening to our conversation prior to speaking. We want to compile a list of resources, kind of a network. If you say, I guess you can call it a network of resources. So that would be a great one right there. Paola, can you also, I don't know if Shoshana has a hub that she wants to speak about. Shoshana, can you upgrade her? I don't know if you want to speak on the hub, because I'm a little confused with your question.
Hi, thank you. I don't I asking the question really as a constituent. But if I put my former banking hat on, because now I've transitioned to real estate, but so much of the power of business is in harnessing information. who we are, what we have to offer, really that digital business card. And I do believe that we have extraordinary talent here in Washington Heights. And I'll be biased and say that I also believe that so many from outside of the community come in, not to plunder, but to look at Washington Heights as this ripe area for development. And I'll leave it at that. But development is more than just dirt, it's the people. And so if we have fantastic, phenomenal, solid businesses here within our community, but people outside or south of, 125th Street don't know about us, how do we just harness that and put it together so that when there is another entity that's looking at, hiring X or Y or Z, or looking at a base of knowledge workers, we pop up in the top 3, as opposed to, oh, that's you're like near Yonkers, right? No, sweetie, no, it's a little bit more than that. So that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, and I agree. I think there's definitely unharnessed potential here in Washington Heights, and that's what we're here for, right? I'm kind of new to the board. I think 2 years now. I just became assistant chair of this committee. So we're trying to kind of be that, right? A harnesser of information, from all sorts of directions. I think, like I mentioned prior to, I think through our network of non-for-profits, that's how we're really going to get our word out about us, of what we can do, and then as in return help other businesses out and harness their potential. But thank you so much, Oshana. But definitely join us. We'll have more progress, I can guarantee you, in a few months, to really, and then if you want to help in the effort, please don't hesitate to chime in. We really appreciate all the help that we can get, Shoshana.
No,
All right?
I do appreciate that. And you always meet on Tuesdays, right?
Yeah.
Or
So, first Tuesday of the month.
of the month. Okay. So, no, I'd love to in any way possible. I start class in a couple weeks. So, Tuesdays and Thursdays just for the semester. So, but we can make it work.
Oh, for sure. Thank you. Any questions, Hector, Mancita, for Eric, for workforce? No. Okay.
Not a question, but I'm just thinking out loud. Is workforce connected with the bid that's happening on 181st Street? And also speaking about the bid on 181st Street, it'd be really great if we could have, I don't know, use this as a platform to hear more about that bid.
So the bid is actually the person who has the bid is actually on our board. His name is Isidro, the 181st bid anyway. And if you want, Mancita, what I can do is I can organize Isidro to come in and give it like a 10-minute presentation on what he does.
And would workforce like offer jobs to things like that bid, or I guess it's go ahead, Eric.
Sure. Yeah, great question. So we work closely with the bid. We stay in touch. We're neighbors, so try to maintain a good relationship. But yeah, I mean, we offer a variety of jobs. Our Workforce One Center is not just this Washington Heights office. We are 18 centers across the New York City area. So we offer a diverse array of jobs. So whether we hire for the bid specifically, no, not really. But any other work that you're looking for in the New York City area, there's potential that we could place a candidate or send a candidate to an interview at a variety of different businesses.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, no problem.
And Eric, where's your address? What's the address of your office?
Oh yeah, that's something I should have put in there. We're 516 West 181st Street, New York, New York 133. That's the zip code. So we're right by the Radio Hotel, where the new halal is.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. Any other comments or questions? Okay.
Is there like a specific room or like a floor or something, or is it like right on the first level?
I think he said 5th floor, right, Eric?
That's correct. It's the 5th floor.
Okay.
Okay, nice. Thank you.
No problem. Oh yeah, make sure you enter on the 181st Street side. There's an Autobahn entrance. But yeah, 181st and elevator straight to the 5th floor. You can't miss us.
All right. Okay. So for the next meeting, we're definitely going to include solutions. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, so for next meeting, we're gonna include workforce, maybe the other person that you mentioned that I have to look at the Q&A for, in our list. But again, for next meeting, just let's compile a list, and I'll do my due diligence to do it myself of resources. And that's the only thing that I ask for you guys for next meeting. But if we don't have anything else, I would also get an update from you guys about the MRTA licenses for next meeting. But anything else, anything that you guys want to say?
One last question, Joel. I know everyone's tired, whatever, but is there any way that we're staying in contact aside from just our monthly meetings? Like, is there like any Google Doc we have, or like a Google Excel sheet that we could just all throw all this information in at once instead of waiting to the next meeting and stuff like that?
Yeah, totally. You know what, Hector? That's a great idea. That is a great idea. Let's create a document.
Yeah.
A
Because
spreadsheet.
I know, like, I was thinking about it, like all these other committees, they speak on a monthly basis or whatnot. And at the end of the day, we want to make our committee look as best as possible to implement the most ideas with the most swiftest results. So I think it doesn't have to be every day we're speaking to each other, but like at least twice a month, like general meeting, and like at midpoint where we just all like drop in like some comments and like a shared drive or something, a shared like note, like, hey, any updates? Anybody has anything? Like, oh, I got this event going on. If you want to share it or something like that, I just think it would be like a really good idea to just stand out with the new year.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Maybe does everybody in the committee have an iPhone? I know that's only 3 of us right now. Do you guys all have iPhones?
I have one.
Jumila? iPhones? Masita?
Yeah, I have an iPhone.
Okay. How about you, Jamila?
Same.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I'll create a spreadsheet. Does everybody have a Gmail?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Jamila, you got a Gmail?
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. So I can we can create like a live document for next meeting. And we can just add the not-for-profits that we know, or even resource centers. It doesn't have to be a not-for-profit. It could be just a resource center for businesses.
Right.
Kind of and create this live document. And I'll create the group as well, just so we can, if we, even if we have events or like networking events that include businesses, maybe we can tap into those resources too. So I'll create that group and we'll create that document. But yeah, that's
I think Romina has a question.
Yes, Romina.
Hey. So I just wanted to ask, like, I maybe everyone from the community has heard about the accident that happened at Inwood Bar and Grill, one of our community businesses, of course, very family oriented business, in my opinion. Is there any way that our committee or our board could be of any support or service to them after that accident, or the families who were affected? Because since they are a business, um, I'm not too sure how moving forward that accident would affect their business. So maybe due to that situation,
Yeah.
if our committee could create something in which that we have some sort of a plan of action when threatening situation happen, maybe like how we can be of support. I'm not too sure what that support could look like, but leading to this accident and the month of December, we saw a couple of incidents in our community businesses. So maybe that's something that we can create together, like how to best support them when, tough challenges happen, like, the accident that just occurred, but then also a man being shot and killed inside a bodega in the neighborhood. So, these kind of situations are pretty prevalent in the neighborhood. So if we
Yeah.
can create something to, or some sort of, I don't know, like a plan of action to address when like hard challenges occur and how we can be of service to these community businesses. That's pretty much what I had in mind.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why Francisco's not here is because he's actually meeting with the owner of Inwood. I totally forgot to tell you guys about that. Yeah, he's meeting with them today. And in terms of like kind of assisting them, I think it would be just preventive. It would be kind of public safety committee a little bit. Now, in terms of kind of like providing kind of like business solutions for them, for kind of to try to prevent that or try to help recover from that. The only thing I can think of is like GoFundMe's or kind of it would be tough just because I don't know if we can like actually have a solution for them instead of just GoFundMe, right? Because we are a government body. I don't know if we will be able to and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe we can shoot ideas out there um to kind of like raise capital for them or things like that. I don't know. Shoshana, sure. Shoot.
Um, I don't know. I love the idea of supporting them. I was thinking about them this afternoon, and I don't know that the committee could raise money, but certainly as in the coming days, as they peel through exactly what happened and their insurance, and they have an opportunity to speak to their insurance company and to their counsel if they so choose, and certainly to law enforcement, and they then determine, okay, where are they? I think certainly we can best support them by bringing business back when they're ready to open. Maybe, and I apologize, I don't recall the name. The person who mentioned that it was more public safety, I don't know.
Uh,
But
yeah.
but
So,
it's a wonderful opportunity for public safety to sort of chime in on, what are the things that business owners can do. It makes a great case study. And I know that sounds a little callous, but it does. What do you do in the event of a catastrophic or near catastrophic incident? And so maybe it's about looking at, is that something that, how can other businesses sort of prevent that incident? No, we can't prevent the driver from speeding off, and no, we can't prevent the two cars from colliding. But how do you handle business interruption? How do you recover from that? What are the things that maybe you need to have in place? A plan, a recovery site. So it may not be direct support to them, but I think this demonstrates that there's no matter how well you run your business, there's always there's always a space and an opportunity to tighten things up. So I don't know that it's direct support, but I think this is an incredible point for the community to say, okay, how could we maybe prevent this from happening again? Or what can we do so that the impact isn't as devastating?
Yeah, Susan, I agree. I think it's more educational, something of how to prepare businesses for, and maybe we can have someone from one of our offices, New York City offices, or even one of these resources we have to kind of go over exactly what type of like an emergency fund or an account that can help you recover from something like that. Agreed. Definitely an educational support is best warranted here. Maybe not financially, but definitely education. Yes.
Oh,
Mr. Heck.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to take away from what everyone was saying and not to discredit anything, but I think we should kind of shift the focus because we're like in a very weird spot where we like represent like the city and stuff like that. And I think we should kind of like take a diplomatic approach because at the end of the day, this is like a for-profit business and they pay insurance for this exact reason. But I think there's an excellent way to, get in front of certain things and shifting the focus to the actual people that were impacted. And I doubt that any of the staff had training in like an emergency or something, or like an active shooter, or like how to address like an on-site like collapse of like a ceiling, or in this case, a vehicle impacting the front of the business. And I think that's a great way that we could reach a lot more businesses with this unfortunate event by like, let's say hosting like a training service. Like, for example, Community Board 12 is going to host this training course with like the NYPD of how to navigate said situation at a business. What's the first thing you do? Someone's bleeding, you apply pressure, you evacuate everybody to like the rear of the business, whatever, another exit or something. But I think is another opportunity that we could take to really gain exposure in the community as a community board doing something for the community and for the businesses for our committee specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can add that to next month's agenda. Just in response to what happened, creating kind of like a with the help, obviously, with our resources, proper training that we can then deliver to different businesses. Yeah, agreed. Definitely. And so we'll add that
Yeah,
to.
I really like what Hector said. I
Yeah.
really like. Sorry, I interrupted you, Joel. But I wanted to add to what Hector said. I really think that's a pretty innovative idea, especially with the challenges that we've seen with crime. And I think this is the way to build the bridge amongst committees too, because it definitely is a public safety concern, but it's also about seeing customer service and response within a business to potentially life-threatening events. And also, well, Shoshana, sorry if I mispronounced your name, ways in which businesses can be able to like already have like a backup to the backup, but then that also aligns with preparation, different skills to minimize hardships and challenges. But nonetheless, yeah, I think that could potentially be like a proposition that we put out there based on the challenge, the incidents that have happened in the community.
Okay.
Business development, supporting these businesses moving forward, like come from hardship.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely working alongside the public safety, we can make that happen. So we'll add that to our agenda for next month. We have a special guest. Our new chair is in the building. Just wanted to welcome her. Hey, Kathy. How are you, Catherine?
Hey, Joel. Hi, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. So we were just kind of speaking about the incident that happened in Inwood Bar and Grill and the impact on how we can, not have a solution for it, but take some preventive measures through education, through maybe running a training with the help of Public Safety Committee, is something that we're going to look into. So yeah. Anything else that we want to touch base on? And if Kathy, you want to say something, feel free. I don't know if we lost her. Did we
No,
lose?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. No, I mean, I'm just coming into your meeting really and listening to see how things are going and just kind of get a sense of what the topics are and issues that folks are talking about. Yeah, the issue at Inwood Bar and Grill is big. I would assume the Public Safety Committee will hear more about the details about it. And I know Inwood Bar and Grill put out a statement because they were also really flooded with calls of support. So, I think for however we can support them and, any small business as well in terms of because, it's not the first time that happens. I remember also in the summer, particularly with the, what do you call it? The outdoor seating and a lot of cause of concern. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not really informed right now in terms of all the details behind the incident at Inwood Bar and Grill. But definitely, I know it definitely hits close to home for a lot of folks, especially in nightlife and restaurants. So.
Yeah. So we were just, discussing kind of like, and Hector brought up a good point where we can kind of shift the focus to like training, right? How is personnel in these establishments trained, and how can we be kind of a source of training? And we kind of, we obviously have to wait for the info of what happened, but just kind of preventive measures, kind of doing a program with public safety to train and help train. I hope these establishments train the employees. But yeah.
No, that's a great idea. I was just gonna say that, I think there's like certain instances, and I mean, I have never worked necessarily in hospitality. So I would be curious in terms of, I think a lot of times when we, especially on the board, when we talk about training, it's always about, what to do. Let's say if there's if a fight or like, if somebody's over consumed. But definitely there's the instances, of emergency management. There's instances of, and in the past, beauty salons, for example, used to get trained a lot around intimate personal violence. So I think that the board can absolutely be a space for that. That could be a goal or a project that y'all can take on this year. And we can, work with the office staff to identify, how can we be, that space, right? So if it's a 40-minute, hour-long, whatever it is, training, and folks from different establishments tune in, I think that would be super cool.
Awesome. Thank you. Just to quickly recap, we also went over creating kind of like a group chat between this committee, creating a live document where we're going to be able to put in resources to kind of get our names out there, right? Through these resources, these not-for-profits that help other businesses out. So we're going to compile a list throughout the next month to, just these resources guide. So one, share it with the board and the community, and also to contact them to kind of chime in on any events that they may have. So that's what we're going to work on. And we're We also are waiting for the MRTA regulations. No updates yet, but that's mainly what we spoke about. We also had Mr. Adams speak from a workforce and speak a little bit about what they do. But yeah, does anybody have anything else that we didn't cover? Nothing. No.
Nothing
Yes.
from mine, Joel. Thank you.
All right. All right. Anything from you, Catherine, or any of the committee members? Okay.
No, nothing on my end. Just I'm here to listen. I'm around. Of course, any support or questions that folks have from the committee, feel free to reach out.
I appreciate you, Catherine, joining us. You're gonna do great, and thank you for joining us. I'm a motion to end to adjourn today's meeting. Any second?
I second it.
I second Joel.
Great.
At
Thank you
third.
so much, guys. Thank you, Shoshana. Thank you, Mr. Adams, for joining us. We'll see you guys next month.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Night.
Bye.
Good night.